Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to today's English lesson. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of February, 2021. And today we're going to be looking at the similarities and differences between fiction and non-fiction texts. So there's a few tricky words in there. Our star words today: non-fiction, fiction. And we're going to be looking at features. A feature of something is an interesting or important part of it. We've looked at features of traditional tales before and features of instructions, something that all of them have. Fiction and non-fiction are going to be explained in the lesson so we can tell what's the same, similar, and what is different between fiction and non-fiction. So, a fiction text is a book that's written from the imagination. It's not a true story. They're often brilliant stories, but somebody's made it up. A non-fiction text, it tells us facts and information about the world around us. It's true. Fiction is an imaginary story, non-fiction, facts and information. So, our new text, Wombat Goes Walkabout, is it fiction or non-fiction? Remember, fiction is imaginary and made-up stories, and non-fiction tells us facts and information. Is Wombat Goes Walkabout fiction or non-fiction? It is fiction. It's a brilliant story, but it's got animals talking to each other and Wombat saving them all from the fire. It's imaginary and made up. Mungo and the Picture Book Pirates. Is this an imaginary made-up story, or does it tell us facts and information about pirates? Is it fiction or non-fiction? It's fiction. An excellent story, very exciting, but it's not giving us true facts and information. It's an imaginary made-up story written by Timothy Knapman. Next one. Here I've got our school atlas. This is the atlas we use in geography, and it's full of maps and photographs. Is this an imaginary made-up story, or does it tell us facts and information about the world? Is it fiction or non-fiction? It is non-fiction. It's absolutely full of facts and information. Nobody's made up this information. It's a true fact. What about Katie Morag Delivers the Mail? Has somebody made this story up? Or does it tell us facts and information? Fiction or non-fiction? It is fiction. Even though it might be based on an island and some of the features of the island exist, the story of Katie Morag delivering the mail has been made up. It is fiction. This book here, all about Scotland. Is it an imaginary made-up story, or is it a non-fiction text with facts and information? This one is a non-fiction text. All about Scotland. It even says up here, this is a fact cat book, giving us facts about Scotland. I've got two books here. One is called Monsters Don't Eat Broccoli, and one is a book all about broccoli. I haven't read either of these books, but I think I can tell which one is fiction and which one is non-fiction. Pause the video while you have a think. Which one of these books is fiction and which one is non-fiction? And why do you think that? Which one of these books is non-fiction? Non-fiction, facts and information. I think it's this one here. This looks like it's going to give us facts and information. This one is about monsters, so I would imagine it's made up. Also, another great clue is that non-fiction texts often use photographs because they can photograph things in real life. They don't have to draw the pictures. Non-fiction texts often use photographs. Which one of these is fiction? And how do you know? Pause the video while you have a think. Which one of these is fiction and how do you know? Which one is fiction? Fiction is imaginary and made up. This is a lion saying hi year 2. I think this one must be imaginary. I've never met a lion saying hi year 2. This piece of text is full of facts about lions. This one is non-fiction. Another good clue is talking animals are often a feature of fiction texts because animals don't talk in real life. So just like Wombat Goes Walkabout is talking to us, it's a fiction text. This piece has lots of facts. It is non-fiction. Which one of these sentences is non-fiction? Sentence number 1. The brave and courageous astronaut took huge bouncy steps across the grey, dusty moon. Sentence number 2. Astronauts find it difficult to walk on the moon as there is no gravity. Pause the video while you have a think. Which one of these sentences is non-fiction? Which one gives us more facts and information? Sentence number 2 was non-fiction. It gives us more facts and information. I also know that because they're written in the present tense. Facts are a feature of a non-fiction text, and they're telling us what's happened now. Astronauts find it difficult to walk on the moon as there is no gravity. That's a fact. Sentence number 1. The brave and courageous astronaut took huge bouncy steps across the grey, dusty moon. It's a description of what's already happened. Two more sentences. Which one of these sentences is fiction? Which one is imaginary and possibly made up? Sentence number 1 says, Wombat scampered to the dark and dirty tunnel, worried that the angry fire was getting closer. Or number 2, wombats live in holes called burrows. My question is, which one of these is fiction? Which one is imaginary and made up? Pause the video while you have a think. Sentence number 1 was fiction. Sentence number 2 tells us a fact about wombats. This is true. Wombats live in holes called burrows. This one is a non-fiction sentence. Number 1 is fiction. There's another clue. Fiction texts often use lots of adjectives to describe, but non-fiction texts just tell us the facts. Wombats do live in holes called burrows. So if there's a sentence with lots of description, it's often a fiction text. Your turn. I have got 5 pictures or sentences on the board. On your piece of paper, write down the numbers 1 to 5. For each number, you need to write F for fiction or NF for non-fiction. So you need to decide, number 1, is this a fiction text or a non-fiction text? Number 2, is this a fiction or non-fiction? And so on. See if you can work out which are fiction and which are non-fiction. Number 1, the book Dear Zoo is a fiction text. It's got some great pictures on it. Somebody has made up this story. Number 1 is an F for fiction. Number 2, here are some photographs of animals, and it's called Zoo Animals. This is a non-fiction information text. It's going to tell you all about zoo animals. Number 3, this book is called There is a Hippopotamus on Our Roof Eating Cake. I don't think that happened in real life. This is a fiction text. Number 3 was fiction. Number 4, giraffes can grow to be 6 meters tall. That is a piece of information, and that is true. Number 4 was a non-fiction sentence. It's a fact. Number 5, in the heat of the day, the giraffe dipped his head into the cool water of the shimmering lake. That's a lovely sentence with lots of description, and it's written in the past tense. That's not fact and information. That is a fiction sentence. For your activity today, you're going to need to sort some of the features. In your home learning pack, you've got a Venn diagram that looks like this. Features that are fiction texts go in this circle. Features of non-fiction texts go in this circle. And if they happen to come in both texts, then you put them in the middle, this red section here. Fiction one side, non-fiction the other, and both in the middle. So here are some features. They could be fiction, they could be non-fiction. You need to copy these and sort them into your Venn diagram. This should be on your worksheet in your home learning pack. For example, photographs. Photographs are a feature of a non-fiction text. So you need to write photographs in the non-fiction circle on your Venn diagram. Facts are a feature of a non-fiction text. So you need to write facts in the circle of your Venn on the non-fiction circle of your Venn diagram. Sort these features, and there's a challenge, onto your Venn diagram. Well done, Year 2. We were looking at the similarities and differences between fiction and non-fiction texts. I'll leave this one up so you can pause the video and write the features into your Venn diagram. Good job. We'll see you tomorrow.